Welcome back, investors, to the Investing with Our YouTube channel for another portfolio update. This one is going to be for the third week of January. And we ended last week on 132,653. And we end this week on 129,466 for a 2.4% loss. And the major reason was because of the issues with Greenland and Trump's attempt to own it and the pushback he is getting from Denmark and EU. Denmark being the current owners of Greenland territory. Trump mentioned that he doesn't intend to use force, i.e. military on the ground, to take it over, which led to market fears easing a little bit, as we saw towards the end of the week. Now, these are very good opportunities to buy. Unfortunately, I'm not able to buy because I put the max amount of money into my ISA, which is 20k for the year. So now I have to sell to buy. And obviously, during down weeks, you shouldn't be selling because you're getting less for the shares you've sold. And there was one particular stock that I wanted to buy, which was Micron. Now, I released a video on the 11th of January saying I wanted to buy this stock because I thought it was a solid stock and there was a large insider buy, which is usually a good bullish sign. And if you see from the day after the video was launched, the share price was around just under 340. And now we're at 399. At one point, it hit a high of 412. So it's a little bit annoying that I didn't have any money to deploy, but I guess that's the game once you've deployed all your capital within your ISA. So I have to try and sell now. Now, speaking of insider buys, this was one of them. I also mentioned another one on my Substack. So if you want to see another company where there were several insider buys and some quite big ones, and the share price is actually depressed right now, have a look at my Substack. If you scan this QR code, you can get there and you can see which stock I'm talking about. Now, going back to Micron, it's still a company that I do want to buy, but at these levels, I'm not sure anymore. If you look at the graph, it's at an all-time high, and buying at that is risky, but I still see upside within this stock, so I'm not sure. And if I were to buy anything, then I would have to trim some stocks anyway. So at this stage, there's not any stock that I particularly want to get rid of other than HIMS, which has had a very tough time. And this is one that potentially I could cut. But again, they've got earnings coming up. They're doing things to potentially make the stock go in the right direction. So this is the only one that I really want to trim. Everything else I'm pretty much happy with. So I don't know, maybe Micron will pass me by, but I want to try and see if I can get some of that stock. Now, if you look at the overall performance, other than HIMS, the other one that is having a bit of a bad time for a consistent period was Apple, but Apple still is Apple. So it's got a lot of cash on hand. It has a loyal customer base that is willing to pay very high premiums for its products. So that is something that can recover. And some people are saying that after its earnings, it will recover. So most of the positions I'm really happy with. One particular stock that had a bad week last week was Broadcom, which is down almost 10%. This is a buying opportunity. This is a solid company. Other companies that had a good week last week was Meta. All these companies are due to announce earnings, and people are saying that it's going to have some good ones. And United Health at 7.24%, which had a solid week. The other thing I like to track is the potential of rate cuts. Now, if we look at, these are the months of March, April, June, August, September. If we look at the potential rate cuts, it looks like there's going to be one in June. Historically, if we look at the end of the year, for example, it was looking like April. So during the end of December, there was a 90% chance that there would be a rate cut in April, but it's dwindled all the way down to 32%. And it seems like it's being pushed out to August, potentially could happen in June. Every week this changes, and this is a good indicator to look at, because if there is an increased chance of rate cuts, you can see that early and you will see the stock market shoot up. So overall down 2.4% for the week, so there will be more red than green. If you look historically, there's been quite a lot of reds. So from the beginning of November, we've got 3 weeks in a row, then one really strong green week, 2 reds, 1 green, 2 reds, 1 green, 2 reds. So it's been a difficult time, but please be reminded that this is a great time if you're building your portfolio. I would say I'm in the middle stages. So for me, it's better to have green because I've established a 100K portfolio. But if you're on that journey, these are good times to actually buy because you're getting stocks at a cheap rate. Now, if you have a quick look at the portfolio, nothing has changed. So I haven't sold anything. So all the holdings will still be the same. Google being my biggest. And then you've got some solid winners in Carnival, Tesla, which actually big news for Tesla because it had the first fully self-driven robo-taxi, which was launched in Austin, Texas on Thursday. So before they were doing robo-taxis, they had a technician within the car. This one was the first fully self-driven one. So this could be an absolute massive game changer. I've always contended that if safety is assured, then why would you pay £20 for an Uber when you can pay £4 or £5 for a robo-taxi if safety is assured? And they've done, I believe, close to 10 billion miles. And Tesla deem it safe enough to now let it out on the road. Now, it's not only Tesla that is deeming it safe enough. The insurance company Lemonade is offering 50% off premiums if you're using Tesla self-driving. So that's a really big boost as a company within the insurance industry is now deeming it safe enough to actually reduce its premiums if you're using it. So really bullish signs for Tesla. And as you can see, I'm up almost 100%. You've got Nvidia up 65%, Broadcom up almost 60%, Centrica up 65%, one of the few UK companies within my portfolio. And then you can see a slew of green where I'm up on Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, KLA, ASML, two solid performers, but they're small holdings within my portfolio. And then you've got Costco, Apple, Visa, and then the first small red is United Health, just down 0.24%. MasterCard, Oscar down 6.86%. Robinhood down just under 8%. IREN going smoothly. If you look at the IREN chart for the last month, up almost 35%. Really solid numbers. And then you've got Grab, which also had a good solid week, up 5%. And then the two big losers, HIMS, which potentially I could cut. Watch this space. I might even cut it next week just to see if I can try and get Micron potentially, or have some cash on the side to see if Micron drops. And BMNR, which is down 50%, but I have solid hopes of that. So that's it. Portfolio just under £130,000. If you enjoyed this video and the clarity, please give it a quick like, subscribe to follow my journey, and I will see you on the next video.